i.e. promised freedom. So why does productivity now feel heavier than ever? Imagine a woman named Emma closing her laptop after work. The room is quiet. The day should be over, but then her phone lights up. One notification says a new AI tool can help her write faster. Another promises to organize her entire week. A third tells her that people using automation are already getting ahead. Emma is not lazy. She is tired. But instead of resting, she opens one more app, watches one more tutorial, and makes one more plan to become more efficient tomorrow. This is the first hidden layer of infinite productivity. The brain does not only get tired from doing work, it also gets tired from feeling that work is never truly finished. In the past, productivity had natural borders. The office closed. The notebook was put away. The day had an ending. But AI has made work feel expandable. If a task can be done faster, then maybe another task can be added. If an idea can be generated instantly, then maybe 10 more ideas are expected. The tool that was supposed to reduce pressure can quietly create a new question. If this is so easy now, why am I not doing more? You can see this in everyday life when someone uses AI to write emails, summarize meetings, plan content, create images, study a skill, organize finances, and compare career options, all in the same afternoon. Each tool may be useful. Each one may save a few minutes. But together, they create a feeling that the mind must always be available, always improving, always updating, always producing. And here is the strange comfort hidden inside this. Your exhaustion is not proof that you are weak. It may be proof that your mind is responding naturally to a world with fewer stopping points. But the real twist is not just that AI makes us work more. It is that AI can make us feel guilty for resting, and that opens the door to the next mechanism. Picture Daniel, a young designer who discovers a new AI platform. At first, it feels magical. He types a prompt and gets 10 ideas in seconds. He smiles. For a moment, the future feels light. But soon he adds another tool for images, another for captions, another for scheduling, another for research, another for analytics. By Friday, he is not only designing anymore. He is managing a small orchestra of apps, settings, updates, subscriptions, prompts, folders, and tutorials. This is where psychology becomes fascinating. The human brain loves the promise of reduction. We are attracted to anything that says, this will make life easier. But the brain also has a limit for switching, comparing, choosing, and remembering. This is called cognitive load. When too many systems demand attention, even useful tools can become mental clutter. The problem is not the existence of AI. The problem is when every tool asks the brain to become a manager of more possibilities. In daily life, this appears when you spend more time choosing the perfect productivity app than doing the task itself. You open a tool to save time, then another tool to improve the first tool, then a video explaining the best workflow, then a spreadsheet to track the workflow. Suddenly, the original task looks simple compared to the system built around it. There's a light and almost funny truth here. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is close 5 tabs and use one simple method. A calm mind often creates better results than a crowded dashboard. But this brings us to a deeper question. If too many tools can exhaust us, why do we keep chasing the next one? The answer is not only about efficiency. It is about fear. Imagine Maya scrolling late at night. She sees a creator saying, if you're not using AI, you are already behind. Then another person says the market is changing. Another says beginners are making money faster than professionals. Maya feels a small knot in her stomach. She was not planning to buy anything. But now a course looks less like a choice and more like protection. She clicks, not because she is excited, but because she wants to feel safe. This is the psychology of relevance anxiety. Humans are social learners. We watch the environment for signs of danger and opportunity. When the world changes fast, the brain tries to reduce uncertainty by collecting information. In a healthy amount, this is useful. Learning is beautiful. Curiosity keeps the mind alive. But when learning becomes a race against imagined extinction, the nervous system starts treating every new tool, course, or trend like a survival decision. You may notice this when people buy digital courses they never finish, subscribe to software they barely use, or save dozens of videos about the future of work without applying one calm lesson from them. The purchase gives a short, emotional reward. It says, "Now I'm doing something." For a moment, anxiety becomes action. But if the action is not connected to a clear personal goal, the relief fades and the search begins again. This is one reason the AI economy grows so fast around promise. People are not only buying features, they are buying reassurance. They are buying the feeling that they will not be left behind. And that is not something to mock. It is deeply human. Everyone wants to feel capable in a changing world. But what happens next reveals something even more surprising. The pressure to stay relevant can quietly change how you measure your own worth. Consider a man named Noah. He starts his morning with a simple plan: finish one important project. But before breakfast, he sees a post about building a personal brand with AI, then another about creating passive income, then another about automating his entire life. By noon, his original project feels small. He has not failed. He has not even started. But he already feels behind because his mind is comparing one human day to the internet's endless highlight reel. This is the productivity identity trap. At some point, productivity stops being a tool and becomes a personality test. The question changes from "Did I do something meaningful?" to "Am I becoming the kind of person who is always optimizing?" This is dangerous because the brain begins to attach self-esteem to output. Rest feels like falling behind. Slowness feels like weakness. A quiet evening feels like wasted potential. In everyday life, this appears when someone cannot enjoy a walk without listening to a business podcast, cannot watch a movie without feeling guilty, or cannot sit in silence without thinking they should be learning a new skill. Even relaxation becomes another task to optimize. The person downloads a meditation app, tracks sleep, measures focus, compares routines, and turns peace into performance. But the mind is not a machine. It is more like a garden. It needs cycles: focus and pause, effort and recovery, input and silence. Some of your best ideas appear not when you force your brain to produce, but when you give it space to connect quietly in the background. This is where the story becomes hopeful. The goal is not to reject productivity. The goal is to stop using productivity as proof that you deserve to rest. And here is the next hidden layer. When people feel that their value depends on constant improvement, they become much easier to influence financially. Imagine Sophia checking her bank statement. One AI writing tool, one design tool, one note-taking tool, one automation tool, one research tool, one premium course, one membership community. None of them looked expensive alone. Each subscription felt small, almost harmless. But together, they quietly became a monthly bill for a future version of herself she was trying to reach. This is the financial side of infinite productivity. The brain has a tendency to underestimate small recurring costs because each one feels manageable in isolation. A little monthly payment feels lighter than a large one-time purchase. Add the optimism bias, and the decision becomes even easier. Sophia is not paying only for software. She is paying for the belief that next month she will be more focused, more disciplined, more advanced, more ready. There is also the sunk cost effect. Once people pay for a tool, they feel pressure to keep using it, even if it no longer helps. And if they do not use it, they may feel guilty. So the tool remains active, not because it creates value, but because canceling it feels like admitting that the dream attached to it was too vague. You can see this in normal routines. Someone signs up for a tool to organize tasks, but avoids opening it because the dashboard now reminds them of unfinished goals. Someone buys a course to feel confident, then feels worse because the course becomes another incomplete project. Someone keeps a subscription because one day I might need it, even though that day keeps moving further away. The calm solution is not to stop investing in yourself. Investing in learning can be one of the most inspiring choices a person can make. The key is to ask a gentler, clearer question before buying. Will this solve a real problem I have right now? Or is it only soothing a fear? That one question can save money, reduce mental noise, and return power to the person making the decision. But this still does not explain why the cycle is so persistent. To understand that, we have to look at the platforms and brands that benefit when your ambition never feels complete. Picture a company launching a new AI product. The message is elegant. It does not say, "You are not enough." It says, "You could be more creative, more efficient, more competitive, more visible, more prepared." The promise feels positive, and sometimes it truly is. Many tools are genuinely useful, but in the background, the business model often depends on one emotional state: the feeling that your current self is slightly outdated. This is not always manipulation in a cartoonish way. It is more subtle. Modern brands understand aspiration. They know people want to grow. They know people want confidence. So they sell the bridge between who you are and who you imagine you could become. The problem begins when the bridge keeps extending. Every update creates a new standard. Every feature creates a new possibility. Every possibility creates a new expectation. In daily life, this appears when a person learns one AI tool and immediately hears that another is better. They create one workflow and are told it is already outdated. They start feeling productive, then see someone else doing 10 times more. The finish line moves quietly, and because it moves with a friendly smile, the pressure can be hard to notice. This is where power enters the story. Whoever defines the standard of modern productivity influences how people spend time, money, and attention. If the standard is endless output, people become tired customers. If the standard is intelligent focus, people become wiser users. And that difference matters. The inspiring part is that awareness changes the game. Once you see the mechanism, you do not have to obey every signal. You can choose tools that serve your life instead of tools that silently expand it. You can learn without panicking. You can improve without turning yourself into a project that is never finished. And now, the final layer appears. The future may not belong to the person who uses the most AI, but to the person who knows when not to use it. Imagine Clara on a Sunday morning. Her laptop is closed. Her phone is on the table, but not in her hand. She has a notebook, a cup of coffee, and one simple question written on the page: what actually matters this week? Not what looks impressive, not what a trend says, not what a tool can generate. What matters? This is the psychology of intentional productivity. The healthiest relationship with technology begins when the human chooses the direction before the tool offers the speed. AI can help you write faster, think wider, organize better, and learn more. But it cannot decide what deserves your attention. That is still a human responsibility. And it is also a human freedom. In everyday life, this could mean choosing only one or two tools that clearly support your goals. It could mean setting a time to learn and a time to stop learning and apply. It could mean canceling subscriptions that represent anxiety instead of usefulness. It could mean taking one quiet evening without turning rest into another self-improvement mission. There's something deeply reassuring about this. You do not need to win the entire future today. You do not need to master every platform this week. You do not need to become a machine to stay valuable in a world full of machines. Your value also comes from judgment, taste, empathy, patience, creativity, and the ability to notice what truly matters. And maybe that is the surprising lesson behind the burnout of infinite productivity. AI did not create our desire to do more. It revealed it. It placed a mirror in front of one of the oldest human hopes. The hope that if we become efficient enough, prepared enough, and optimized enough, we will finally feel safe. But safety does not come only from doing more. Sometimes it comes from choosing less with more clarity. Sometimes intelligence is not adding another system, but removing one. Sometimes the most advanced productivity strategy is a calm mind that knows where to place its attention. So the next time a tool promises to transform your life, pause for a moment. Not with fear, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, is this helping me become freer or just busier? That small question can turn technology from a pressure into a partner. And perhaps the real secret of the mind is this: progress feels best when it still leaves room to breathe. If this video helped you see your habits in a new way, leave a like, subscribe to Secrets of the Mind, and write in the comments which part of infinite productivity affects you the most: the pressure to keep learning, the fear of falling behind, or the habit of buying tools you barely use.